Hey guys, how you doing? Ron here with TechTipsToGo. So in today's video, we are going to be doing a different one. We're going to go look at the overall business side of things. First off, we're going to be talking about decentralized and centralized exchanges. So I get this question a lot. Should I use centralized exchanges or should I use decentralized exchanges? What are the benefits? What are the pros, the cons, etc.? So let's get into the video. All right, before we get into the news, let's take a look at the overall market. So we have Bitcoin dominance, 57.9, going lower and lower. Who knows what this number will be in a quarter or 2 quarters or 3 quarters. I personally think we're going to be in an altcoin market, altcoin season, especially with all the stuff that's going around with yield farming, mining, decentralized finance. I think Bitcoin dominance is, it's a long-term play. It's like I mentioned before, it's kind of like an RSP set forget digital gold, but I'm not so bullish. I always like to say it's always nice to have one Bitcoin. So let's take a look at the markets and what's going on. Bitcoin is 10,700. I see that we're going to be reaching about 11,000 pretty soon. Ethereum, my number one coin here, which is $356. I'm pretty bullish and positive on the outlook of Ethereum. I think Ethereum will do really, really well in the near future, just because of everything that's going on with Uniswap, yield farming, decentralized finance. Decentralized finance is just exploding, going from like 600 million months ago up to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 billion. Just amazing what decentralized finance is doing, and all of the chains that are building upon Ethereum, which is amazing. So we have XRP at 24 cents. Binance Coin Cardano is at 9, almost 10 cents, which is good because Cardano went into a big slump to about 8 cents. Right now, let's look at Chainlink. A lot of people in our group hold Chainlink. Chainlink did bounce up again, which is great. It was hovering around $8, now went up to $11. Let's take a look at VeChain over here, and then we'll get into the news. So we have VeChain 0.013. Great news for VeChain. I predicted 0.009. I still predict 0.009. It just really depends on the markets and elections and everything else going on. Hopefully the elections are good. Hopefully it treats us well. Hopefully there's more positive news on a vaccine that is coming as well. But this is great news. 0.013. For VeChain. I'm glad that the next day when I made my video yesterday, the markets were like a Red Sea. Everyone's kind of down, is really quiet, but we saw a nice spike. If you look over here, the nice spike of volume for VeChain, 1.3, which is great, heading into the weekend. So great, market cap ranked 26 with a total volume of 178, and I still predict the market cap, right? I still believe VeChain will be in the top 10 probably next year. I just think it's a long-term hodl and long-term position with VeChain, but with the amount of partnerships that they have, those partnerships didn't go away. Every partnership that they signed, just remember, when you're investing into VeChain, sure, blockchain transactions aren't that high. The price fluctuates a lot. A lot of people say, well, the price of VeChain, it doesn't go anywhere. They have all these partnerships, but the price doesn't move. Sure, it doesn't move, but we still have those companies, we still have those partnerships, and once they start rolling, we're going to get blockchain transactions. That's what I say. Just the transactions alone from all of their signed partnerships are going to create something very big, in 5 years. Imagine when they're all rolling 110% past the pilot phase. VeChain will be a monster, right? Because you don't sign a partner and transactions start rolling right away, especially what they're doing with their mainnet and VeThor and their gas. So anyways, let's get into the next piece of news. So I was reading my daily news when I was exercising today. I looked at Cointelegraph, and actually this came up in the business side of the section. So it says why centralized exchanges will lead crypto to the future. So like always, I will leave the link in the description below. And to summarize this, let's get into some of this, and I'm going to give you my take on this. So decentralized exchanges are undoubtedly an exciting development in crypto. So decentralized exchanges facilitate the trading of cryptocurrencies directly between users without the need for a trusted intermediary. However, while DEXs have their advantages, they still lack in terms of regulations and scalability, which are key considerations that could determine the future trajectory of the crypto industry. So a lot of you are familiar with Binance Dex, and a lot of you are familiar with Binance.com. So as you know, Binance.com being the leader has the most liquidity. Those are the clear advantages when using a Binance Dex versus a Binance Centralized.com exchange is the liquidity, and it gets kind of down into the information over here. So let's continue. It says centralized exchanges will continue to play a pivotal role in this ecosystem, providing the depth of liquidity needed to grow the wider crypto community. So the benefits, they say that with centralized exchanges is KYC for their users, and a lot of people like to kind of get away from the tax, or when they use decentralized exchanges, they know that there is no KYC, so there's no need to fill out your information in terms of know your customers. So a lot of people don't want their name associated, maybe for tax income purposes, etc. So that's the use of a decentralized exchange. Now when you use a centralized exchange, and because a lot of things are getting regulated, and I was speaking to one of the members in our group, and they are being audited, or it sounds like they are being audited when they're using crypto.com. So when you do large sums, large deposits, large withdrawals, usually that creates flags. So if you're not familiar with the banking industry, they have rules and regulations, or teams, which is called AML. So they have AML departments, anti-money laundering departments. Those are large groups that always exist in banks, especially if you're in North America, North America, UK, etc. So those kind of raise flags now that everything is kind of getting more regulated in North America, whether it's in Canada or the US. So a couple of months ago, I did make a video that anyone dealing, or any company dealing with Bitcoin, is considered money, meaning if you're a financial institution, small or big, dealing with Bitcoin, you have to get your taxes submitted, etc. Any retail customer that uses that deposits, I think the threshold now is anything deposited over, don't quote me on this, it might be 6,000, it gets flagged, or 8,000. So I think it's 6,000 US and might get flagged to about 8,000 Canadian or more. So that actually gets flagged, and those earnings or those deposits might get reported to the Canadian government or the IRS. So that is sometimes why a lot of people choose to go with decentralized exchanges, because they don't want those flags. But here is the downside with decentralized exchanges, and it says it here, right? So in terms of decentralized exchanges, they lack in terms of regulations and scalability. So sometimes with decentralized exchanges, or DEXs, sometimes you don't have the support that you would like. There's no regulations, it's not regulated, it's not audited, etc. The scalability is one thing, and the liquidity, but you pay a premium for that. Now in terms of centralized exchanges, and what this article goes over, is they see centralized exchanges which will lead crypto to the future, and I completely 110% agree with this article. Just because centralized exchanges, people want that, people want to be able to sleep at night knowing that when they're using a centralized exchange, there's more contact for support, it's audited. Yes, there is KYC and know your customers, but a lot of people that are entrepreneurs, business people, or just regular taxpayers really don't mind doing that, because there's short-term capital gains, short-term or long-term capital gain deductions. So, and they're very familiar with that. But there's some people who I wouldn't say penny pinchers, but they want every penny possible without the government taking too much tax. And really depends on what state or country you are in. Sometimes it's just sometimes there is a better pro than the con in terms of using decentralized exchanges. I know a lot of the users in our group, they use Atomic Wallet for their swap. So they'll actually swap VeChain VET to Ethereum. They don't mind paying the extra 2,000 just so they don't have to go through a centralized exchange where there's KYC, and then as you move your funds over to that exchange, you will probably be flagged if it's a large sum or anything over 10,000. And then you're going to have to worry about claiming a lot of that on your tax, which I don't mind because I do. But like I said, I'm not a day trader, so I keep my funds in long term. don't have to really worry about it. When I do cash out, then I'll have to worry about, paying capital gains, etc. So anyways, let's continue to the article. And it just clearly describes, providing users with better and faster trading experience. So with centralized exchanges, they really are keen, especially on Binance.com, they're keen on improving their technology, the servers, right? That's why they do have those premium prices on Binance.com, because they employ thousands of people, right? So they always want to make sure when Bitcoin crashes, their servers don't crash, etc. So, and it says it over here, while growing in popularity, DEX tends to have lower volume and liquidity. So centralized exchanges will continue to drive crypto adoption. So that is my take on when you should use decentralized exchanges versus centralized. I prefer centralized exchanges just because sometimes I use it as a warm wallet, because I like to keep a lot of the coins that I'm trading in those accounts, right? I'll keep it there for 2-3 months at max, and when I'm ready to fill my main bags, I'll actually take it off. But usually I'm swing trading on a weekly basis. So that is the reason why I like centralized exchanges. I keep it as a hot wallet. You can use decentralized exchanges, no problem, because it attaches directly to the Explorer or to your ledger if you use Binance Dex. So, but I prefer centralized exchanges. I don't mind paying the tax, etc., etc. So anyways, I hope you liked the video. Please comment, subscribe, and I'll see you soon.